Hello and welcome to Dice Punks, a tabletop role-playing podcast where we focus on playing full campaigns in less well-known systems. This week, however, I continue with my coup in order to allow Adam to play Unknown Armies in what is no longer a one-shot and won't hopefully end up in a full campaign, but we'll see. Hi, I'm Dez, and I'll be your needlessly ominous GM for today, and however long this ends up lasting.
Hi, I'm Adam, and I'll be playing Nia, itinerant librarian for now.
Hello, I'm Drew, and I'll be playing Benjamin Demos, more safely known as Mustard Seed, though, really, is anyone safe?
No.
No.
Hi, I'm Robin, and I'll be playing Dream Boy Danny. Dreamboat Danny. Or he would like you to think that anyway.
I do.
Hello, I'm Nick, and I'll be playing George with two G's for his two big, strong arms and his two brain cells.
Yay!
Dear listeners, let it be known that Nick has slain all of us.
I wish I had
Directed.
two of the same letter in my first name.
Carry on.
Lissa does, and that's a line Lissa never used.
Yeah, really.
Oh, I'm so sad.
Oh,
Hang on, let me hop in my time machine.
Was that the full of your intro, Nick, or was there more?
That was it, I think.
Oh yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he's just got two big, strong arms, and
He also has two E's in his name.
no,
Because
two
he doesn't
G's,
skip leg day.
two G's in his name. He's very proud of having figured that out.
mhm.
He hasn't even discovered the E's yet. Okay.
No,
They're
no,
next
that's
on the
gonna
tech
be-
tree.
God damn it. You have to discover the G's before you can discover the E's, yeah. That's how it works.
Step by step.
So, Drew, would you like to give us our recap?
Certainly. We'd been shopping at Denton Lucan's establishment. George purchased a book, not to be opened, you understand, but to be lifted, as well as a solo cup, for poison. Nia wanted a pair of handmade, handsome bookends, but could not afford them, at least not for the moment, not before we dealt with the name-thieving pest. Anyway, if indeed we'll be able to deal with the name-thieving pest. Danny bought a dragon statue, which is fascinating. Really, really very cool. What was I talking about? Yes, I asked after information, but could not afford to learn of the underlying nature of things. Pity. The roller skate, meanwhile, was not for sale. We made our way to the Palace of Fine Arts for the night market, a small affair. Here we met the Dane, a large, blonde, muscly, well, Dane, really. Nia was driven to distraction and let slip, well, Nia, an undisguised name. Danny met with a fellow named Rook, and George with a red-haired tinkerer with a clockwork hand. Nia spoke to the contractor briefly, and then to T at the bar, who pointed out Dawn in the back. She directed Nia to a lighthouse, helpfully, if ominously. I, meanwhile, people watched the crowd, stepping out of George's way as he had some sort of emotions or other, until I could see the threads between the people of the night market, intricate and dangerous as a spider's web. I managed to cut one thread, the one connecting the man with the clockwork hand to obligation, presumably, to the spinner of the web, to the spider, to the contractor, or to who or to what stands behind the contracts. Dawn said, and we agreed, that it was time to go.
I will additionally add that Danny had his fortune told and that in discussing things with Jane, the contractor, Nia also let slip George's name.
I remember that. Oops, sorry.
I had forgotten that as well, which is why I didn't say it. But those are important points both. And yeah, I did not do justice to the scene with Rook, which was if I may, quite good.
Well, thank you. So character growth.
Oh.
I give
Right.
you XP. You should spend it.
In fact, given where I know you're about to say we're about to start, I am going to be spending my 2 XP from last session to increase my struggle skill called Violent Protester by 2 to 22.
That's a good decision.
I thought so.
I think I will also increase my struggle skill, which is called Lessened Futility, by 2.
Nice.
George will be taking everyone by surprise and increasing his irrelevant skill by 1. Even he's confused by that one.
To be clear to the listener, in Unknown Armies, folks are encouraged, indeed, the rulebook states it as a requirement that you offer a summary or moniker for your stats: body, speed, mind, and soul. And Nick has delightfully named George's mind skill irrelevant, and it is misspelled for the record.
Truly matter over mind.
The mind is over the matter, just physically only.
No, it's all the way over it. It's completely over it.
Well, this all makes sense because George did pick up a book. He didn't read it, but he did pick it up.
Several times. A little more every day.
Yes. He hasn't graduated to the next step of actually reading it, but he did pick up a book.
I'm going to spend mine on Auracite.
As
a gift.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mhm. You're welcome.
Feel free to use that as often as you like.
I will continue to do so.
So, yes, we open up with a lot of you having ducked out of the gate, as it were, to the night market, as all of the stall vendors had started not quite shambling, not quite shuffling, not quite running of their own will. In fact, anyone who would like to roll notice can before I have you roll initiative.
Well, that sounds like an invitation I'll take.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely no for me. Well, actually, I rolled within my mind skill, but over notice.
Okay.
A failure for George.
I'm just a straight up failure on this one.
Knocked it out of the park, rolled a 10.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank you, Den Dice, which I will remind you, my Den Die is a 10 place, or a Den place, if you will.
Oh, yes. I have mine out today as well. I can tell the tens versus the single digits by which one has a deeper red to it, as though more blood was poured into the dice.
Marvelous. I'm willing to stretch the penumbra of your noble passion, Drew. Organizing others to their strengths.
Sure.
To allow you, if you want, to flip that 10. Because ones are crit successes, it is worth noting.
I'll take it.
So, you see several things. You see that Rook has an expression of unbridled fear on his face and traces of rage, even as his body is moved. The Dane looks resigned to things as they take their sword out. And in the back, you see the clockwork maker give another wave at his clockwork creations, which are all over the floor of the market and operating independently, ? Before ducking behind the bar at following T's gesturing. Danny notices that Rook doesn't really look like a willing participant in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you become a bit more preoccupied by the very large sword that the very large Dane is about to be operating very largely. So now is the time when we roll initiative. For reference, for both new players and the listeners, the way that initiative works in Unknown Armies is that players are offered a choice. Specifically, initiative is a skill which starts at half of one's speed stat and can be upgraded separately through the expenditure of experience points in the way of all other skills. But at the start of combat, one has a choice between taking initiative and having your initiative be set at the value of your initiative skill, or rolling initiative. And depending on what the roll is, one of three things will happen. If it is lower than your initiative value, then that's one of the downsides. You are slower than your base initiative would be. If you roll above your speed, you fail outright and go last. Congratulations. If you roll between your initiative and your speed, then you go faster than your initiative would normally let you do. So given that information, folks, how are you doing? Are you rolling? Are you taking your initiative?
I will take my initiative, which is 25.
Okay.
I will roll.
I would also like to live dangerously.
I will live very safely, meanwhile.
And your initiative is 20, it looks
20.
Like. I got a 32.
Oh, shit.
I got a 78, which is above my speed stat.
It sure is.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Now, Robin, is 32 an improvement on your initiative without going over your speed stat?
It is.
It is an
Excellent.
improvement.
Looks like you're gonna be going first.
And it is below speed, so that's good.
I intentionally, for full disclosure, I intentionally nerfed my initiative on this character sheet after Viz,
Oh.
who always went first.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Got a lot of mileage out of Izzo is going first, so fair enough. To want variety is the spice, after all.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Now,
spice
I'm
must
just
flow.
rolling arbitrarily because, to be perfectly honest, I don't have full character sheets prepared for a variety of the combatants.
Of course.
Yeah,
Unheard of.
your name currently is improvised weapons, and I think that's highly fitting. For what's
I was
about
in
to
a feng
happen.
shui game at one point. No, I've been in 2 feng shui games, and every feng shui game that I've been in, by the time I was done with the game, humans were no longer counted as improvised weapons.
The
Wonderful.
mind boggles.
The first thing that happens is that you hear the contractor saying something in very much not English, with the sort of snappish tone of command. And it seems to reinforce the general trend of the vendors of the night market stalls advancing all of them, other than those specified as exceptions, upon you all.
Mm-hmm.
Nearest, obviously, is the Dane, and they have taken out their sword, and you're all, like, close to, it is a two-handed sword. Dear past Des, why did you not give more people more stats? We're doing all of this arbitrarily. Sorry, not sorry.
All good.
Nature of the beast, spirit of the show.
Mhm.
Indeed, something like that. So, I am going to rule that George is probably the last in line of getting out, unless someone wants to specify otherwise. So if you would like to roll Get Out of the Way, Dummy, for me.
That is a 10 in the tens place and a 6, so that's 16.
Cool. You do indeed get out of the way of the sword swing. You notice as it's coming, just in front of like your shoulders, that he would have been using the flat of the blade. But, it's still a big fuck off sword.
Absolutely.
So Danny, you are up.
I would like to pull out my dragon statue. I think it is currently in Nia's pack. So the logistics of that I leave to your good hands. However, I will not be looking at it as I pull it out.
You should roll Snatch, I think.
Where? Oh, yes. Okay.
Which I don't think is defined on your skill sheet, but like...
It is. 47 on that one.
Okay. Well...
Oh, no.
So, in your haste to get at this fascinator of a statue, you tear open Nia's bag. Like, the zipper pops off, no fabric is destroyed in the process, and a variety of... What all do you have in your bag, Nia?
I think I'm out of water, so there's going to be some books. These will, I'm going to say exclusively be like hardbound with like the library plastic on them. Of various sizes. Are some of the heavier things. There is one of those like emergency blankets in there. There's probably at least one sort of like EMT style tourniquet in there. There's a few sort of like energy bars. There's a basic kind of first aid kit, cloth version. And then there's a variety of let's say like a small variety, maybe half a dozen individual articles of like face mask, head covering, gloves, scarf,
Sure.
mostly in dark colors.
Would you say the books are on top or in the bottom?
The books were likely near the bottom so that the first aid stuff and water was more accessible.
Cool. So what spills out is mostly first aid stuff and an empty water bottle and the dragon statue, which...
Yeah, it would have been on the top because it just went in.
Yeah, no. That was a roll to see where it landed.
No, I figured.
Lands mercifully on the med kit and therefore does not break on the ground. Everyone's eyes, at least those who are behind you all, which is to say, George is going to be looking at the Dane, so is not going to be looking at it, but we'll deal with that problem later. But Danny and everyone else are definitely looking at that dragon. Benjamin, where are you relative to Nia? That is to say, in front or behind.
It's a good question. I would say I am behind. I would have to be, right? Based on the initiative logic we've come up with.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. We'll deal with that on your turn.
Okay.
Next up, however, is Nia.
Okay. So it sounds like I'm kind of out front, probably my attention mostly on the Dane and the big ol' sword.
Well, you can be facing forwards or backwards. That is to say, getting away or facing your problems.
Yeah. George was behind.
Sure, yeah. I'm the way I had imagined it is as we were coming out, we're passing the Dane.
Yeah, you're probably
so,
a bit beyond his reach at the moment, in as much as George did manage to be out of the way of a sword length.
Sure, yeah. But that is probably why my attention has maintained whatever angle it has to keep the Dane in my sight, because armed. And between at least some of my friends and getting out entirely. So I think my move is going to be to roll my struggle skill, Violent Protester here. What happens exactly remains to be seen, but my goal is probably to get my arms wrapped around the Dane's arms, or else like a full tackle. Something that has the effect of not allowing the Dane to swing the sword.
Okay.
Is the goal here. We'll see what actually happens.
So to remind the listeners, how old are you and of what stature?
Yeah, exactly. I am old enough to be grizzled. My character sheet says born in 1970X. And the description I have for appearance says tall and lanky of frame, but age has softened my straight line Tetris piece physique. So I'm going to roll. My body is 40. My Violent Protester is 22. Let's see where I land. 7.
Cool.
Oh, wait. No, hang on. I got that backwards. 70.
Cool.
Reversal of fortune.
Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you and the Dane both failed your rolls. I rolled against an arbitrary number. And so what happens is you take a flying leap ? Short, immediately as Danny is trying to get shit out of your bag. So that's part of why the Fascinator statue, the dragon statue, ends up on the med kit on the ground. And that screws up your momentum. But it also means that you don't leap onto a sword, which is good for probably all involved. So you just sort of land cheek to peck and start sliding down the Dane.
Okay, all right.
No
I'll take
complaints
it.
there.
I had scrolled up to where you describe your current injuries just in case, so I will absolutely take that outcome.
You see Rook in the very back, heading more toward the bar than towards you all. And you see him throw some playing cards that... No, don't worry, they don't explode. Instead, they embed themselves in the surface of the bar, and are relatively obviously some manner of steel playing cards. So that's a thing to worry about, but it looks like he is going after T and the clockwork vendor. And then things happening off stage. Benjamin.
Yes.
What are you doing?
I know what I want to do, but I believe the dragon statue is in view. So do I need to roll to
roll notice
to say whether I can tear myself away? Yeah. 27.
Okay.
So that is above the skill, but below the stat.
Sure. So you're a
I
little
said
bit
that wrong, but you know what I
distracted. Will this may affect your potential success on what you're trying to do, but
Sure.
feel free to carry on with what you would like.
I think what I would like to do is invoke lateral thinking again and make the spider web real. So if the Dane is swinging around a sword, let them swing it, but they're going to be colliding with strands of web while they do so.
Ooh. I like that. Roll it.
All right. 67.
Okay.
We're doing great.
Lateral thinking is at 40 for
Yep.
the listeners.
And
We're all doing fabulously.
yeah,
Still
the
nothing is going
problem
wrong.
with percentile roll under is, and Unknown Armies' approach to that is that when you're in a high pressure situation, you have to hit the skill rather than the stat.
Sure.
Adam often fudged that at least slightly. I tend to as well. So everyone,
I am, for the record, just under the stat. but
Yeah,
well
no,
over the skill.
had it been a lower pressure situation, it would have been a resounding potential success. But you see a bit of a flickering impression of the spider web reasserting itself, but that may take more time.
Fair enough. Could have been worse.
Don takes out a gun and shoots the Dane.
God. And Indy?
Shoots at the Dane, excuse me.
Okay. Okay.
The shot goes slightly over his shoulder and through the tent that is the collector's, but to no apparent damage there. Or at least none that you hear an immediate report of.
So the Dane brought a giant knife to a gunfight.
Dawn brought a gun to a knife fight.
Right.
A gun to a sword.
What is it like if you bring the big Goron sword to a gunfight? Is that bad or good? I'm not sure.
Depends on how fast you are at moving it and whether you can accurately deflect a bullet with it.
So
I
bad.
never thought I would say this, but Squall might be onto something.
So now it's George. Last in the initiative.
Yeah, George would like to revoke the Dane's sword-bearing privileges.
Okay, how are you doing this?
He's trying to stay just outside of the swing and close distance and take the sword away from him.
Okay.
Possibly using his newly acquired book as a shield, if need be.
Oh my gosh.
Truly, knowledge is power.
So this seems like a roll. Because you've described you're trying to do two things here.
Mm-hmm.
Namely, potentially use the book weight as a shield on the one hand, and on the other hand to remove a sword from a swordsman through sheer force of arm.
Yes. The force of beefiness compels you.
Oh my. So
It do be like
I
that
will offer
sometimes.
you the choice of one roll of kick butt, take some names, or 3 rolls starting with do 2 things at once.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that works is you'll need first to succeed on the do 2 things at once, and then to succeed on the other rolls if you do. Please correct me, Adam, if I'm doing this wrong.
No, that is correct. You for Unknown Armies.
Yes.
Greg Stoltze games getting mixed up in my head. For Unknown Armies, my understanding is you roll do two things at once. If you succeed, that allows you to make
both other rolls.
Both other rolls.
If not, I will personally assert that you can still do an thing at once.
So I could roll twice or once?
Well, you could roll one time or potentially up to 3 times.
Okay, well, the one time sounds like the better deal, but I'm open to
Well,
whatever
that would be just
interpretation.
you tackling or otherwise directly attempting to remove sword privileges. The do 2 things at once, then you would be able to, if you succeed on that, both attempt to remove sword privileges while also blocking potential incoming sword problems.
Yeah, no. George seems like the direct sort of person.
Okay.
He'll take the hit.
Okay.
And hope it's not lethal.
So, again, if I'm remembering this correctly, Adam, I roll against the Dane's arbitrary and unspecified sorting skill because this is a melee attack. So it's both of us roll.
My understanding, I believe the way that I always did that was not as opposed rolls.
Okay.
Unless you were having a dodge in there.
All right. Thank you, Adam, for that off-mic recap on combat mechanics that I had not gotten properly up to speed on. So remind me what you rolled, Nick.
Haven't rolled yet. Rolling now. I got a 99.
No!
Oh. Oh, Nick.
Hey, your skill goes up one.
Oh, no. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Your skill
Let's-
goes
yeah,
up one.
Definitely
The silver
way to
lining
see-
might have a cloud, though. Yeah.
way to see the empty glass is half full.
Well, it's
I
a
mean-
little full anyway.
Yeah, what is that in that glass?
Maybe your band has a second fan somewhere out in the wings.
So... Oh, no. Dear listeners, I just rolled a 66 on whatever it is that I am plotting here. So...
Nice.
I like that they're the
Nia
inversion of each
has
other.
already
Mirror.
launched himself at the Dane and ended face to peck and has started indeed sliding down. I think at this point you may be clutching a very beefy Danish thigh. And the Dane has swung their sword once across approximately where you would have been had you not moved. And the thing about two-handed swords is that they're lighter than you think they are. It's just that there's physics at play. And so you launch yourself at the Dane, and you find yourself distracted, sort of looking down as you go, because there is the dragon statue that has landed with an audible thunk on the medkit to your side, sort of. And so that leads to you tripping just as you sort of launch and catch air. And you don't get stabbed, you don't get impaled, you don't in fact even get sliced. You do get the flat of a two-handed sword to the noggin, but you also are mumbledy 100 pounds of airborne muscle mass, and therefore also impact the Dane, and to a somewhat lesser degree, the librarian. And the three of you and the sword topple backwards over the Dane's chair and table into an extremely messy heap. And your bell has well and truly been rung in addition.
Well, at least he didn't hit anything vital.
So I guess my follow-up question here is, should I put anything in my current injuries descriptions?
I mean, you've gotten a knee to the, like, upper back, but, like, There will be some bruising, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I am at an age where that is probably worth recording.
Fair enough. And so now we are back to the top of the initiative. The Dane fails spectacularly to push
Good.
George off of him.
In this party, I'm dead weight.
In the best way possible.
Currently, you're somewhat effective dead weight, it's true.
Yeah. Yes.
Very much a live weight, let the record show.
However, as you hear an irritated snap of your name, George, roll soul.
Okay. Rolling 63, which is above any of my skill or stat.
Mm-hmm. You roll off of the Dane and start to stand up. For reference, Benjamin, you see a spiderweb strand start to tie itself around George. Danny.
Let's get weird.
All right. What are you doing?
Hell yeah.
So, I have a lot of anxiety dreams. Like, it's kind of normal as, like, the singer in a band. Like, your standard, oh, you meant to do something cool and then messed it up. So that's kind of one of my dream signs. And I went to do something cool and I messed it up. But now I'm going to make it everyone else's problem. I would like to use attune lucidity to make the dragon statue embiggen the dragon statue. So yeah, that is what I would like to do.
Okay.
If that is something that can be done, remains to be seen.
Make your roll. Tell me what you get.
All right, I'm rolling under a 41. I got an 11.
Oh, I believe you, Robin. Let the record for the listener show that Robin has indeed displayed the dice at us without moving them.
Which is itself impressive, in addition to the rolling.
So, as the dragon gets up, it grows.
And your skill goes up by 1.
Your skill goes up by 1. And you have added a combatant to this encounter.
Oh, good. Yes. Actually, no, it's great. I'm just giddy.
The extremely tacky statue cracks, or maybe it cracked when it hit the med kit. In any event, the dragon has separated from their perch and are growing and stretching their wings and sort of flexing their tail as they stand off of the pavement.
As this happens, I shout, "Don't make me use this," while staring at the dragon and all.
The pattern of the dragon's wings is entrancing. It's mid-90s, like, blue and pink and purple Lisa Frank electronica. And it rears back its head and roars toward the sky. And everyone's attention is on it.
Point of clarification.
Yes.
Am I under the Dane at this point, since George was on top of the Dane?
It's a
Do you want
Dane
to
sandwich.
Well, it feels relevant to my ability to perceive what's going on with the dragon.
So, the Dane went backwards over their chair and table. George went forwards over the chair and table in the same vector. You were facing the Dane, sliding down, and have gone forwards for you. So you are above the Dane, and not below George, in as much as George has started standing up.
Somewhat a compromising position, I imagine. But
This is the meet cute.
It occurs to me that under other circumstances, the Dane is probably one of Nia's types.
You did so specify last time, yes.
Oh, I wasn't sure. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Indeed.
That was your reason for giving your name.
Getting flustered. Yeah. Chances are good then that I hear the roar and whip around and become fascinated with the rest of everybody else.
I don't mean to go full China Meeville here in terms of the wings and the fascination, but anyone who has read Perdido Street Station has a bit of an idea there.
So yeah, I'm probably still partially, prone, but twisted around to see what the roar was, and now staring
between
at
your
the
proximity to the
wings.
Dane and your line of sight to the wings of the dragon. You're definitely distracted.
Good way of putting it. Very delicately said.
So that's you. But yeah, no, it is now your turn if you would like to do anything other than be distracted by pretty dragon wing patterns and luxuriate in the physicality of the Dane.
Well, what I would like to do, and I don't know if I will be able to do it successfully, you'll have to tell me, but what I would like to do as a player is see if I can't take advantage of the Dane's fall and potential distraction by the dragon to acquire their sword from them.
You can certainly attempt, and let me get your character sheet up. Roll me a violent protester.
Certainly I shall. 55 is a matched failure.
No.
But it goes up one. This is a very high rate of matched failures in my experience.
I'm something of a matched failure myself.
What happens is you end up just in a very tight hug. The Dane doesn't appear to have a sword in their hand anymore, but they do have you in both of their hands, and you may be more fine with this than you realize.
I will console myself with the sword not being in their hands.
Benjamin.
Have we determined how distracted I am by the dragon, or is that
roll
a thing
soul.
we need to determine afresh? Okay. 83.
Intensely distracted.
Okay.
But, not like... This will affect my decision-making on any, say, weird rolls that you may be making.
Okay.
Rather than a preclusion of action.
One thing I'm attempting to pay attention to, and maybe I can only see it as background to the dragon, which is really quite impressive, but I'd be watching for the reality of the spider webs. Are they becoming realer, more present? If they touch the dragon, I'll have mixed feelings because that dragon really is quite important to me. But
what you may want to do is roll lateral thinking again to
I can do that.
Continue to assert the reality of
69.
Nice.
Nice, but also.
Right. No.
Thank you for the ASMR up.
The downside of this system is that 666 rolls are not actually possible.
Right.
And this is our compensation? No, that sounds wrong.
Substitute leaning to the 666?
There's certainly something there. In any event, you are no more successful than you were previously in asserting the reality of the spider web.
I am then mumbling improvised poetry about the dragon, whose wingspan could shade cities, whose grandeur cannot be sung, and yet I will sing it. I'm not helping, in other words.
No, but it's marvelous.
Quite.
Nia, you hear your full name snapped out in the same way that George's had. However, you are distracted, and this is fine.
So this may not be relevant now, but it did make me think of it. One of the things that I had started to do toward the end of last time that didn't really end up coming up was I had prepped a book burn formula spell.
You had mentioned it.
Okay, yeah, I
believe you had, or at least my limited recollection of last time is that you had cast the thing.
Yeah, so indeed, I had to try and intercept any like magic spell, ritual, or artifact power directed specifically at me so that it is absorbed by the book, preventing the magic from working.
Yes, that's what happened.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it had actually gone off last time.
No, it went off just now.
Just now. Okay, cool. So the cool thing about that is at any time thereafter, you may open the book and release the magic against a target of your choice.
Cool. Step one is you'll have to realize it went off. And no one's really paying attention to it, but, well, Nia at least recognizes the relatively unmistakable sound of breaking glass followed by a whoomph.
That laugh may be in character. I'm not probably in total control at the moment.
Coming from, a bottle's throw away from where the bar is.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So, George, I apologize for depriving you of your agency like this, but do roll soul.
Will do. So that is a 73.
Okay. You are not piloting your body at the moment, and that's probably a helplessness check. So, roll mind as well.
Okay. That is a 25, which is
cool.
Below
Take a hardened notch in mind, and don't freak out as you stand up, crouch down, and pick up the sword.
That's a hard notch in helplessness.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's your turn. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. No worries.
And then
George did get a sword on the plus side.
Yeah.
George
He did
get a sword.
Traditionally, this goes badly for dragons.
Yes.
Points for you.
Well done.
Oh, that's beautiful, Drew. Thank you.
Luckily, this George is no saint. He's much better than that.
Back at the top of the initiative, the Dane stands both of you up.
I'll take it.
Will you?
You are shifted from a two-handed hug grip to a sort of not quite being carried like a football, but like both of your arms are definitely restricted by one of his.
Mm-hmm.
And your feet are maybe an inch or two off the ground. Danny, your pet dragon is fascinating.
Yeah. It's just the wings are so nice, and I never thought that a dragon could be so awe-inspiring. Like, I knew they would be, but this is somehow even more sublime than I expected. But I think the dragon, as fascinating as it is, should go towards the contractor.
Okay, how do you communicate this to the dragon?
Tuned lucidity.
Cool.
Do I still... Hold on. Let me roll first before asking that question. 25!
Nice.
I was going to ask if I still get to flip them since it's my little special stat, but I'm not going to because that would be done.
It would not be ideal, yeah.
I was going to say, I think Danny is already MVP for this session just because you've succeeded 2 rolls in a row.
Yeah.
OVP.
I was rolling terribly to start, so this is kind of a...
This is one of the weird things about particularly early game combats, is they are comedies of errors and more lethal than you expect them to be.
Yeah, it's one of the things I actually appreciate about Unknown Armies as a system is that when combat breaks out, it tends to be very messy, which is, I believe, an intended part of the design. It has one of the most fascinating chapters on combat of any system I've read, but I will leave that to one side so that we can get back to our combat.
So you communicate that the dragon should be going after the contractor's tent?
Yes. And not just to fascinate, like, dragons kind of, there was like a really inspiring song about burninating that comes to mind.
The classics endure for a reason.
What I will say is that you also get to act on your own self because the dragon is a separate combatant from you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Like I said, you've added a combatant to this encounter.
Let's see. Because I don't want to do, like, attune lucidity again. But I guess I'm too fascinated. Am I so fascinated that I would not see my 2 friends getting hauled off? Or being held firmly?
Roll notice.
$88. Which means my notice goes up, but that's
it sure
that's not
does.
ideal.
So your vision switches. Instead of people, you see lines and vectors of force and desire and compulsion. And the network spreads even among and between these folks involved in the night market. And you still recognize that these individual nodes of competing desires, needs, compulsions, requirements, obligations are people, but they are also just part of a network. And looking up, looking around, the network spreads inevitably across the city, across the sky, across the world. And you are a part of this. The Dane, Nia, George, the dragon, are all part of this connected network of competing and cooperating and facilitating needs, desires, and abilities to assist or help or fulfill them. And as with any good diagram, it's all vectored to hell. So I will give you, if you would like to roll snatch. This is not quite square to it.
Very well for me. Oh, 19.
Excellent. You reach out, and that this is obviously not with your hand, this is with your mind, with your ability to navigate and manipulate dreams, because obviously this is all just a lucid dream.
Mm-hmm.
And you grab the sort of central source of obligation in the immediate vicinity and try to twist it such that you can, tear it out. And you don't break those bonds, but it definitely seems to be having a bit of an impact.
Excellent.
Anyone else watching watching Danny, rather than, being distracted by being hugged or being a passenger in your own body or the dragon or any of the other many distracting things around, just sees Danny just sort of reach out and twist his hand a bit. Benjamin.
Yes.
It's you.
It is me. So I've been muttering to a dragon so far.
Yes.
I guess I need to roll notice again to see if I can tear myself away, right? That's probably the first order of business.
Soul anyway.
Yeah. Soul, excuse me, yeah. 28.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, no, the dragon is getting very, very, very big by this point, and you realize that you may be beneath their notice, such that you may have other things that you need to set right in the world.
Very good, very good. So I sort of I look around afresh. I assess the situation. I notice my surroundings of non-dragon description for the first time in what feels like forever. How's the spider web situation looking? Is this increasingly large dragon encountering any of that?
Not yet.
Okay.
However, there is a palpable warp, a twist, you might say, to the center of the web.
Mm.
It is being turned.
Mm.
But if you are trying to continue to assert the literality of the spider web, you are free to roll lateral thinking to attempt that.
I'd certainly like it to be as literal as the dragon is, which it occurs to me might not be completely, but then I'm thinking about the dragon again, so I stop myself and I roll lateral thinking. Okay. One of those fell off the table, so excuse me while I roll again.
Sure. Okay.
71.
Dear listeners, this is one over Benjamin's mind skill.
What was the one that fell off the table? No, don't look.
We'll never know. No, I caught it. I had to roll it again.
Oh, okay. That makes me feel better.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still just it's like it's trying to resist you now. Like the spider web might now be aware of you.
Don't want that.
But it's also still trying to completely affix itself to George. Actually, roll paperwork for me.
Sure. 4.
You'll want to switch that because it's your obsession skill.
I will.
I
will and I do.
With a 40 on paperwork, you realize that what you're looking at is a metaphor for the obligations of the paperwork of the contractor. And you realize that the spider web started to reach out for George when the contractor stated his name. So yes, that's what you get.
That's a lot more than nothing.
In the background of the night market, there are further exchanges of there are vague sounds of projectile volleys in the back of the night market, but that's not terribly relevant at the moment. And there is, well, I actually appear to have forgotten her last round, but whatever. We can say that she was reloading. The Dane gets shot in the shoulder.
Oh. Does this cause the Dane to drop me?
Yes.
Woohoo! I get to act again when it comes my turn.
Also, you should probably take a violence check, you in particular, since
You're right.
you were you were not shot, but you were certainly in the direction that was shot at.
God damn it. 78, which is over a mind of 60. So I'm going to take a failed in violence.
And you have a choice to make.
I do. And it's a tough one. I guess the in-character answer here is I frenzy.
Okay.
So, sorry guys for any trouble that may cause.
Do you routinely carry any sort of weapon on your person, Adam?
I think I actually had addressed this. The one of the things in my go bag, a category, is self-defense supplies, which probably mostly consists of stuff to kind of help avoid injury, but likely does also include just like a baton of some kind.
Okay. That sure happens.
Sure does.
Nia is dropped and starts scrabbling through the now increasingly shredded remains of a bag.
Sorry about that.
Think I'm probably doing more of the damage.
And George, roll soul. This is going great for y'all.
65.
Yep, you're still a passenger.
So is George's mind still active, but just not connected to the body?
Yeah, there's an interceding
allies
force.
Or enemies.
Okay. You can distinguish allies and enemies, and that's honestly part of the horror of it all, is that you are raising the sword and roll get out of the way, dummy.
That is a 98.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm trending in the right direction.
This would be when I would typically change over to a new set of dice.
Thinking I might. If trends continue, you'll be rolling really well, someday.
In another system.
So, the good news is you don't attack your friends.
The bad news is its incompetence.
The bad news is that you get a mesmerizing dragon wing to the face, and the chest, and the torso, and you get airtime as you charge the dragon and are just punted aside. Yeah, no, I think it may actually also be time for that. You failed at the dodge. Now roll get out of the way, dummy, to not damage yourself upon landing.
To dodge the ground?
Yes, to dodge the ground.
38 for that one.
Okay. You don't feel like you broke any bones.
Yay.
Yay.
You do lose your grip on the sword. You don't know where it is. This is probably good for all involved.
Might be.
Especially the dragon.
I don't think the dragon is terribly concerned.
No.
The dragon, in fact, is not the first source of fire to be focused upon Jane's tent, but the early 90s Dixie Cup coloration that spews forth from its mouth
I am here for this.
is bigger than a Molotov cocktail for a relevant comparison. And yeah, there were some books there. The spider web is gone.
Ooh.
You are in control of your body again, Nick. You are not in control of your body yet, Adam.
Yeah, figured.
The Dane is brushing himself off and starting to apologize. And
I love that they take a gunshot better than I take them getting shot.
That's
There's some real shit there.
Rook
yeah.
is emerging from the back of the night market, looking much less displeased with things, at about the same time that the smell of cooked meat arrives.
Mm.
I'm sure that helps my mental state.
And burnt hair. T and the clockwork manufacturer are nowhere to be seen, but the clockworks are still swarming the contractors, well, the remains of the contractor's tent. And when you don't stop trying to arm yourself and then, like, scrabble at the Dane, the Dane just picks you up by the back of your neck and holds you like a scruffed cat for a while.
Adorable.
Everyone else probably thinks so. While this is happening, Dawn holsters her gun and actually starts applying first aid to the Dane, while you are held over here, just sort of out of reach of all involved, ineffectually being in a frenzy. So, hey, we're out of combat. The dragon's still fascinating and large. So, yeah, you can get up, dust yourself off, look around for the Dane's sword if you want, George.
Sure. Yeah, so I'll do so. Do I find it?
It's, 10 or 15 feet away from you, in the middle of the road that is conspicuously devoid of cars.
And, yeah, so assuming that the Dane looks sufficiently contrite, George will hand it over suspiciously back to its original owner. And if it is not, if they do not look sufficiently contrite, then maybe holds on to it for a while.
They indicate the leather straps on their back that it's generally kept in, and just, sorry about that. We entered into contracts.
Mercenaries.
The Dane opens their mouth and just sort of looks at you and then just closes their mouth again, because sometimes there isn't any explanation that can get through. Danny, roll Orisight.
Okay.
Because the world is still vectors for you.
Remind me what the 0 would be, and the
a critical failure. Your skill does not go up.
Okay. Well, no. I have a 0, and a 7.
Oh, so like 0's in the tens place?
0, yeah. Is that?
That's a 7.
That's a 7. Okay,
Okay.
That's a.
If I got 0's across the board, it would be critical failure.
Yes, which is what I thought you had done. No, 0.
I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, I was like, how did I?
It
get
would only have been
107%?
very interesting. Reality, well, the graphical skin, as it were, of the dream starts to filter back in, but it's still mostly that vectored information flow. And a lot of the lines have burnt out. You can see that two shapes are moving away at a clip that suggests a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And that the main set of lines connected to you is continuing to grow. That being the dragon.
Oh, okay.
Additionally, where the images of San Cajetan are filtering in around the edges of things, you can see blue outlined shapes standing in a sort of body barricade across the street in two different ends that sort of bracket or cordon off the space of the night market so that perhaps you could have this fight without traffic interfering. There is that same shape that warned you about names quite close to you. Notices that you can see him. Him? Question mark? Him. Sure. Him. And looks guilty, sad, like he wants to apologize. Maybe. But you can't read his lips for what he's saying or hear it. There is a vague gesture sort of toward the rest of the city, or possibly somewhere specific within it that's not in obvious sight. And for the rest of you, Benjamin, what are you up to? There's still a dragon. George has gotten up and returned a sword to the Dane, who is holding a wet, angry punk rock cat.
Well,
while being stitched up.
With the dragon no longer fully enthralling and the web gone, I have to reconstitute what matters to me in this world. Of course, I don't see the blue people barricade, but I think at this point it occurs to me to check in with whichever of my friends is nearest and seems to need the most help. Maybe that's George? I'm not sure.
I mean, George did learn briefly to fly. Danny is staring off into space in that way that he does sometimes.
Yeah, that's not too worrisome. That just means good lyrics are coming.
And Nia is having a moment that the likes of which you've only really seen in that one time that you all went to a rage room together.
Yeah. I think yeah.
I was going to say, one time I took our dog to the vet, and in the next examination room over, there was a cat having a real bad time. And so I don't know what was actually happening, but I could hear how upset the cat was with it. That's probably the appropriate backing track to whatever I'm doing.
So yeah, I glance at George, who is giving off a bones not broken vibe, but I do make for Nia and see how I can help.
Okay.
How do I help? Let's think about this. I think maybe this is probably a terrible idea, but it's an in-character terrible idea. I think what I try is double think. I think I'm going to try to convince Nia that whatever is going wrong, that's valid and happening, but also it's not, and everything's going to be fine.
Marvelous. Do that.
Cool. 65.
You're out of combat. It's under your mind.
Oh, good.
Okay. I'm not a complete Keystone Cop over here for once.
So, yeah, you start talking to Nia about the potential utility of violence and how obviously that this is all a little bit traumatic. There were gunshots, there was a dragon, there was a sword. All of these things were interacting or attempting to interact with, well, persons and bodily parts. And at the same time, it's not happening because it's over, and sure, you'll carry that trauma for a while, but maybe chill a moment? What this sounds like to you, Adam, is mumble, 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 mutter, 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 rage, mumble, rage, rage. Why am I being held up? Oh, biceps. Oh, yeah, no, the trauma will probably stick with you for a while, but maybe be back in the present. And you realize that Benjamin is talking to you in soft, technical, self-contradictory nonsense. And the Dane is
My
just
love
holding
language.
you up.
I probably slowly spin down and then mumble something about knowing what to do when it's tear gas and sound rather more sullen than someone my age should.
Dragons are less predictable than tear gas, but no less political.
At this point, probably I'm going to check to see if the dragon is still there and still growing.
Still there, still growing.
I try to
Oh,
step
geez.
between Nia and the dragon so as to make the dragon less apparent.
I mean, you are the
what-
one
what-
with something possibly to do about that, Danny.
Yeah. Can I roll attune lucidity and focus on? I don't want to make the dragon a statue again because it's a sentient thing. I just would like approximately a mink-sized dragon that can hang around my neck, where I won't be so distracted by its beauty, but it'll draw attention to me.
God, that's
Or-
a mood.
Like it's still sentient too, like not
Yeah.
like the mink skin, but like a little. I got a 31. Is there any? I can only flip once per session, right?
For attuned lucidity, one, that's a
My
success.
obsession. That's a pass, but would it be more of a pass if I made it a 13?
No, higher numbers
No,
under
higher
your
is-
skill are better than lower
Mhm.
numbers under your skill.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
The
So
only
the-
exception
Leave
to
it be.
that are the only exceptions are matches, which are useless to flip, and
Right.
Mhm.
0-1, which is a crit.
And the limit on flipping places is each of your passions,
Yeah.
fear, rage, and noble
Mm.
can be used once per session.
But your obsession
That's good to
skill can be flipped whensoever you please.
Indeed.
Okay.
But with a 31, the dragon cocks its head at you and just sort of starts hunching itself in like it is actively trying to assist in its own shrinking.
Oh, so cute.
And when it gets to Barney size, it starts walking over toward you and still shrinking.
Barney size is the most upsetting descriptor.
You're welcome. Just trying to think of the most awful, like, blue-purple electric vibes that I can give this thing, given how tacky the statue I described was.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
actual Teletubbies on set. You got Barney, you got Grimace, somewhere on that scale.
But eventually you have, a mink-sized, a weaseloid, electric and aggressively purple dragon curled around your neck with its tail just sort of going cat-like.
May I attempt a neologism here to go
Of
to
course.
go with Weaseloid? Stotask.
Nice.
Ooh, good. Strong.
I'm going to be thinking of these for the rest of the evening. That's on me, not on you, but
So the dragon is no longer going to continue to grow and grow and grow and eventually outscale San Cajetan. So that's one threat you've dealt with successfully. Good.
did not create King Ghidorah? Check.
Yeah.
Additionally, Rook lets you know that T and Arthur, apparently is the name of the clockwork maker, have left the scene in T's transport.
I'm going to try to make a point of it to mend fences with the Dane. Apologize for losing my cool. Make sure their shoulder is not too serious.
Cool.
You know,
that's probably don't talk to cops.
Indeed. Yeah, just generally thank them for, like making sure that I didn't do any damage while I was out of it, all that sort of thing. So,
yep.
Oh, finally. 21. I rolled my skill exactly.
Perfect. So you are appropriately apologetic, and the Dane is rather stoic about, accepting all of that. But yeah, no, I'm glad that you didn't hurt me, and also that I didn't hurt you guys. And didn't you have a contract too, Dawn? And Dawn smiles. And removes a mask. And as she does so, the clothes stay the same, but they fit a different figure. It is not the mildly heavy-set black woman that Dawn previously had been. Still a black woman, but shorter and skinny enough that you might mistake her for a child, given the stature, but there is age and calculation in her eyes as she stows the mask carefully within a bag apparently purpose-made for it. Dawn was inconvenienced this evening, so I decided to stand in for her. It seems to have been prudent.
I'll say. Thank you for your help, and nice to make your acquaintance.
Sorry to have shot you, but under the circumstances. To what degree are the two of you... She looks at the Dane and Rook, aware of the interests supporting or controlling this night market. And the Dane just sort of shrugs. Rook definitely looks like he knows something, but isn't sure that he ought to share. And she sweeps her gaze across all of you. Well, I know the degree to which all of you are out-of-towners. And novices. I mean this not as a slight, but as a technical description.
Guilty as charged.
I suspect that T may bring Arthur to the lighthouse, but we should see about that as well.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks again. Should I keep calling you Dawn, or...
The woman formerly known as Dawn looks around. Well, there may not be harm in it currently. You may call me Livia.
Nice to make your acquaintance again, Livia.
Same.
Oh.
The risk of names was chiefly Jane, but Jane was the one entrusted with the power that is the problem here.
Right, presumably hooking up to the task we've been given.
Yeah, about that, says another voice that is not connected to anything. Roll your Orisight again, Danny, if you would.
21.
So, you see now clearly the outline of the shape and the person that has been beside you this whole time, and he is speaking. Once upon a time, the world was asleep and magic only worked in rote formulas, strictly adhered to, usually as a part of one mystery tradition or another. But then, sometime in the midst of the wars of the last century and a half, in the blood and the trenches, the diplomacy and the divvying up of people and territory, the world became a collective unconscious, dreaming together a lucid dream. We tell ourselves what we are through archetypes and avatars, and if you believe something hard enough, reality will let you pass. The asshole we're up against doesn't like that. He wants to go back to a time when those with knowledge were also those with power. He liked the old rules and wants to go back to them. So with the state of the world as it is, well, it was an opportune moment for him, and he's trying to take it.
We'll stop it. So this is a real dream, then.
Dream Boy, this has been real the whole time.
I smile widely, and I hold my hand up as a very clear gesture, like one would do with a cat asking for permission to pet the dragon on my neck.
The dragon sort of leans full body into it. And the shape starts cursing emphatically in ways that I will not duplicate for courtesy of our rating. And starts, sorry, damn it. And there is a second of that same sort of shockwave across reality that took you out of the living room where you had first encountered this problem that you're trying to solve. And you see the vectors of the world, Danny, realign themselves, and none of the blue outlined people are there any longer.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick out of character point of clarification. The speaker just now is familiar to us from the living room?
Nope.
No. Okay. Totally other.
If you recall, one of the speakers had looked to the side of directly at Danny at a couple of points. But that is all the familiarity that non-Danny folks might have had.
Sure, just that's why I wanted to ask. Yep. I wanted to make sure I was thinking of the right thing.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Is it just Danny hearing and seeing the outline shape person now?
Danny's the only one seeing it. Everyone is hearing it.
Okay.
Up to and including the swearing and then the shockwave.
So we're hearing all of it, but we have no idea. We have no way of knowing who's talking.
Correct.
So I have been looking around somewhat slack-jawed, it sounds like, but that's pretty much what I was doing anyway,
so I'm giving Danny a little bit of a pass, both because Danny can see the figure before he is no longer there, and also because the whole dream sight thing is just apparently what is normal to you. And Drew, if you could give me a lateral thinking for Benjamin.
Can certainly do that. See if it goes better. 38.
Come on.
38 is under 40, so yeah, like you had seen the sort of vectors and the spider web and so on, the dotted lines and arrows, as it were. And so Danny had a parallel presence this whole time, so you figure it's just that. You also recall that other characters, other folks that you've been interacting with have occasionally looked sort of to one side of Danny. So this all may be related to that. Nia and, well, George, I think 2 unnatural. Oh, those are failed. No. George, you definitely need to roll an unnatural check. Sorry.
That is a 66.
So freeze, frenzy, or flee.
So this is in response to...
I am so sorry to keep doing this to you. In response to the voice from emerging from a point where there is neither person nor sound-producing entity obviously there, giving a monologue about the story of the world, and then a shockwave after some swearing.
Yeah, frenzy. You know, George is definitely under attack, and he's been hit in the head, so something's going on there, but whatever it is, he'll be safer once it's dead.
Okay. And Nia, I think that you also need to roll, given that you only have the 1 hardened.
Sure. 20, so I'm going to get another hardened in unnatural.
Cool. So I think what happens is that George frenzies and then gets a bear hug from the Dane in what is apparently just becoming a thing, and Nia may now be a little bit jealous, but is otherwise unaffected by the what the shittery of a voice coming from apparently nowhere.
So maybe my if I can try here, if I perceive what is happening with George, I will attempt to intervene such that he does not harm himself or anyone else in this frenzy.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I leave it to you exactly what my roles here are going to be, but I feel like my impulse would be attempt first to try to restrain without doing harm, and then maybe if I'm able to use either mentor or don't talk to cops to talk him down.
Either of those works, given that the Dane has accomplished that first step for you.
Okay, yeah, sure. Sounds good then.
In the meantime, Livia has pulled out a cell phone and is talking quietly on it.
Okay.
Those of you who are occupied don't hear anything. Those of you who are not occupied can feel free, if you want to notice, to listen in.
And for the record, I rolled against my mentor of 20 and rolled a 26, which is over that, but well under my soul stat of 70.
So you talk soothingly and quietly and a good deal more sensibly than you were recently addressed, but to similar effect as George wigs the hell out. And did either of you attempt to listen in on Livia?
I did. I rolled over notice, but under my mind,
okay.
So 53.
And you, Benjamin?
38 was what I... Oh, sorry, that was my lateral thinking, actually. So, as far as listening in, 37.
All right. So, both of you here, yes, and a van. Contractor's been dealt with. Wasn't me, but potential friendlies. Yes, Arthur did get out. He should be fine. Stop mother heading. Yeah. All due haste, thank you. She hangs up. If you are interested, if you, I suppose, trust me to travel with me, I have transportation on the way as your companion? She looks questioningly at Danny. Succinctly put it, we're up against a remnant of the old order, as it were.
I sort of glance at my companions, but say, I mean, temperamentally, I'm pretty down to tear down old orders.
Marvelous. By this point, George, you are coming back to yourself
Mhm.
in a bear hug of the sort you were used to giving others.
Mhm. Yeah, coming out of that state, George kind of looks around and he's, still kind of looking angry, and he says, I'm sorry. I've been thinking this whole time, and as I've been thinking, I've been getting angrier. Thinking is not really my strong suit, but the way that I put it together, I wasn't listening to whatever that voice was saying, but I don't know. It seems like people's names are being stolen and their identities are being stolen, and it seems like there's some kind of contract they've been tricked into, and it's just not right to take away who somebody is. And I know that we were planning on skipping town, but I don't think I can do that anymore. I think that someone has to stop people from stealing other people's lives.
Yeah, well said, George.
I applaud.
Sorry, maybe you guys were going to do that anyway. It takes me a while, but
Actually, that would be a really killer song intro.
George looks.
I put a
embarrassed.
hand on however much of George's shoulder I can get my hand on, and I say, looking at our YouTube metrics, I thought there was a ghost in the machine. You're a very friendly ghost.
So, discussion continues. Rook eventually begs off and heads on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Before he goes, can I check in to make sure he's okay? Since I told him I would try to help if I could.
Yeah, you do so, and he is grateful. He mentions that he is probably not best suited toward the sort of direct conflict that you may be heading towards, but Livia will be able to get you to the lighthouse, so that should be directionally correct.
Was there anything else that you couldn't tell me at the time that you can tell me now?
He takes out a thermos and just uncaps it and unceremoniously dumps the dregs of tea onto the asphalt that you're all standing on. And it forms a lattice work sort of pattern almost. It's not willing. He was trying to change the world to accommodate someone, and he was ensnared in the attempt. Sean's not the problem here.
I don't know a Sean, but thank you. I'm glad you're okay, and I appreciate your help. I'm sure I will understand that when the time is right.
I hope so. I hope everything does turn out right, otherwise so much of the underground is fucked. Livia, I'll be in touch, I suppose. Let me know if you have questions. That is sort of my job. And he tips his hat and then heads out.
I do a little flourish of my hand and a half bow. Kind of similar to my stage persona as he walks off.
You'll note that the dragon does manage to stay curled around your neck, but also snaps out one wing in a similar gesture.
Oh, it got so much better.
And shortly after, one of those, like, 15-seater vans shows up.
Ooh.
And as I mentioned at the beginning of, or before we actually started recording, Adam, I could not find documentation on this. Can you describe for us what the robot looks like?
So this is a human shape that would kind of pass for human with some effort at disguise that has not so far really been made so much. Has a fairly large stature, and the machinery that is visible, which is not all of it, under clothes, and not a convincing kind of dermis, but sort of a combination of ceramics and plastics and rubbers, is heavily retro, but does have some more kind of modern looking components in it.
So, a 15-seater van shows up, being driven by not really a Terminator, but that may be the closest reference that some of you have.
Yeah.
And Livia nods in recognition. Thank you for your haste, Andrew. And gets in without even calling shotgun. Does slide open the door to the back for the rest of you who may be interested in joining.
I will look at my companions with a sort of eyebrows up shrug and then climb into the van and just sort of mutter, "I've accepted weirder offers."
So, yeah, you all hop in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
George
The
goes
last
where
of
the
you
van goes.
presumably shuts the door and pulls off into the complete lack of traffic. You are driving for 10, 15 minutes.
Can I roll aura sight?
Oh, do. Feel free.
Specifically the robot and the present company.
Sure.
That will be a 96, so no go.
All right. So, mostly you are fascinated by the vector pathing and how it almost seems like the van is on predetermined rails. It is following the lines of the street and turning where the arrows of your vision indicate that it should be going. And when you look at the robot, you see sort of triple vision. You see at one and the same time the Terminator, as Adam described. You see a dissolute young man whose defining skill trait was probably Keith Richards' disciple. That was actually a skill that character had. And you see sort of flickering remnants of an older man as well. Something in the air of a balding, heavy-drinking Vietnam vet. But it's like someone who wore those clothes a while and doesn't anymore. And you see of Livia a blank face and a pocket full of masks.
I stare at her probably the longest because the blank face is moderately alarming.
And the blank face occasionally just turns to look at you and just tilts the head. There's no facial expression because there's no there. And just goes back to looking forward. Anyone else doing anything woobly before we get back to the mere reality of things?
I definitely want to roll doublethink. We're in a woobly space, so I want to understand. It woobles, but what is it if it wasn't woobly? Am I sitting in a metaphor for something?
Roll.
The thought won't leave me alone. 37.
Okay. So that is over your skill and under your mind.
It is.
So you're not in a metaphor, but you're definitely fighting over metaphors. And that's possibly part of the problem. It seems that whoever this person is that you're up against doesn't like the Derrida of it all, but is still willing to employ those who can use that to their advantage and bind them to his.
I'm frighteningly capable of understanding why one would not like the Derrida of it all, and yet luxuriating in it.
Well, after all, you're doing the doublethink thing.
Indeed.
Anyone else?
I'm probably focusing on trying to understand where we're going in relation to where we've been.
Sure. So you are headed uphill and away from the water. It's unclear whether the water that you're heading away from is the ocean you think it might be, but it could also just be the bay. It's hard to say if you don't have a map to hand. And also, since the sun has set, you don't really have directional utility there. It is getting rather dark by this point. But you're heading uphill. Eventually, you crest the ridge and make a few turns and end up passing by, I say as I copy and paste a thing into chat, a location and park. We have this courtesy of a friend of mine who responded with potentials for where are weird and interesting places that I could use for this. So when you get out of the van, and indeed the robot towers over you, it is easily 7'4", 7'8", somewhere in that range, is dressed in potentially male aspected clothing, but somewhat unclear.
Respect.
And you see that there is a building. It might have been a church or a meeting hall or something, but it ignores the slope of the hill and is built vertically such that more stairs emerge on the downhill side than on the uphill, as you would walk up from the sidewalk to any of the three imposing doors, each of them with an archway and oddly neoclassical, but like Doric neoclassical. Very square and flat and horizontal other than the arches. And the robot strides ahead. Eventually, well, probably over at some point in the car ride, he would have introduced himself as Andrew. And the robot strides ahead and pushes open the middle door and waves you all in. Anyone who wants can roll notice.
Sure, why not? What's the worst that could happen?
31.
32.
39 between my notice and my mind skill.
Okay.
Same.
Were there any below the skill, and were there any above the stat?
No.
Below skill.
Cool.
Oh, sorry. Didn't I thought you were not rolling because you were getting a reprieve. My bad.
Off on the building to the right, everyone else is focused on the very obvious the lighthouse that is chiseled into the top portion of the building. So this is indeed the place that Rook had directed you to.
Mm-hmm.
But you, Nick, see some graffiti off on the side of a building or two over that just says, "The clergy is empty and the devils are all here," before you all enter into the church ?
I can't help but feel that we missed out on some song lyrics, guys.
Same.
Important
yes, I do
motivation
enter.
for surviving this. Yes, I too enter, dreaming of songs yet to be written.
So you walk into the lighthouse, and T and the vendor with the clockwork hand are both there. T is mixing drinks, and it looks like Arthur apparently is tinkering with something small.
Mm-hmm.
He looks up and grins at the sight of Andrew, who, consider for a moment what you might think of if a Terminator were to look both protective and relieved. Because that is the general sense given off as Andrew sort of bounds over to give a very gentle hug to
No.
Arthur.
This is very cute.
And
Can I do a quick double think, just because it's occurred to me that I need to remember Andrew is what I it's very important to me that the robot is a person as well as a robot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. 4.
Cool.
Woo.
Yep. There is this sort of shifting vision of the dissolute young man sort of emerging from and falling back into the robot.
The picture is perfect. I frame it in my between 2 sets of 2 fingers as though I'm going to shoot it for a movie. I'm not.
I have a moment where I imagine Andrew being our guitarist. And then I try to pay attention to what's going on around me.
So you are now in what is clearly in the interior a church that has been renovated into a safe house. There are the other 2 doors that you did not come in through do not open, and in fact are extremely reinforced so as to not open. You can see several cameras in the interior, and there's what looks like a rudimentary, or not rudimentary, but bare bones security desk set up in the corner of a room. It looks like there may be doorways off to sleeping quarters, maybe a kitchen, almost certainly bathrooms, etc. In other directions, but mostly it's big central room with some amount of supplies, some amount of tables and maps and seating and so on. And yeah, there's you, there's the 4 of them. Andrew turns to the rest of you. Thanks, Liv, for getting in, helping deal with the problem. I understand that the rest of you were actually responsible for the release of my apprentice from his contract and dealing with the contractor. That's probably the most major thing that we still needed to do. We have an evil librarian to take down. Are you in?
My eyes light up. And I'll gesture at Danny and be like, I think most of the help probably came from Danny here, but if there's an evil librarian involved, then I feel that I'm honor bound to help out. What do you say? And look at my companions.
You had me at honor bound.
Let's hit the books.
I suppose that myself and Onir Osuna point to the dragon are in. I very much this whole time am standing like someone who is trying to act nonchalant about the dragon around their shoulders, but also desperately needing people to notice.
Amazing.
For the record, I am noticing whatever I've been saying or doing, and as I've been engaging in doublethink, my eyes don't leave the dragon for more than 45 seconds.
It's hard not to look at the dragon.
Yep.
Your cat looks really weird, but I'm here for it.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Let's
Real
get planning.
Nice
And
place you've got here.
I think that is where we will conclude this episode of Dice Punks.
Yeah, I'm excited.
As I said,
excited.
at the outstart, this could be anywhere from 2 to 5 sessions. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's not going to be 2.
Right.
Indeed.
And we know it's not going to be 3.
Well, yes, I was
that's true.
referring back to in the first session when I...
Indeed.
Yeah,
That was what you did say that from the outset. That's true.
Not to be that greedy person, but do we get any experience?
Yeah, you all get 2 XP.
Me.
I will suck slightly less.
So I've given out the XP, and that concludes this session of Dice Punks. Thanks for joining us, and I hope our players and listeners enjoyed it as much as I did, although it may be hard for folks to appreciate hazing Adam with callbacks just as much as I do. If you're hearing us now, then you probably know where to listen to this, but we can be found almost any place one can listen to podcasts, as well as on the wider web at dicepunks.com, and on co-host, Tumblr, and elsewhere as @dicepunks. With that, I think we're ready to say farewell. Say goodbye to the kind folks at home, players.
Bye for now, and if you're going to take a go bag, just make sure it's robust and organized.
Thanks for listening, and if at first you fail, do not change course. Keep doing the thing you were doing. You will eventually succeed, or else one of your friends will create a large dragon.
We appreciate all of you. And some friendly word of, or as a friendly word of advice, remember that those who dream by day are cognizant of many things which escape those who dream only by night.
Thanks for being with us. Just remember that the key to success is not a physical key, it's a metaphorical key. So just go ahead and break down that door to success.
Well said.
And as the poet once said, they said we'd live forever. They said we'd live forever. And if the sun comes up tomorrow, we'll be fine.
Thank you for tuning in to this interstitial miniseries, dear listeners, and stick around through the admin stuff for some dire reflections from Benjamin. The songs in this episode, Theme of the Dice Punks in its acoustic version, were written and recorded by our very own Benjamin Demos, Drew. Cover art and editing was done by Joanne, who's appeared on the podcast now and again. Check out her work around the internet, where she goes by Anything So's. Site design and graphics for dicepunks.com are by Robin, the player behind Dream Boy Danny. Unknown Armies was created by Greg Stolze and John Tynes, and you can check out all 3 editions of it at atlasgames.com/unknownarmies. That's atlas-games. Links to the system and authors can be found on the Punk Grimoire section of our website, dicepunks.com. Thanks so much for listening. If you liked what you heard, that's reward enough on its own. But if you're so inclined, you can help us out by rating and reviewing us wherever you listen to us, telling your friends who you think would like us to give us a listen, and even by heading over to our Patreon at patreon.com/dicepunks. We have fun rewards available to backers, including a patron-only Discord, and access to the Dice Peaks after show for episodes 1 and following. Regardless, we hope you'll tune in again, and until then, remember, subtlety is for cowards.
How does one lose one's name? I recently discovered some records which suggested multiple possibilities. Artists, musicians in particular, it seems, were frequently cajoled or deceived into selling theirs outright or piecemeal. It seems one's name could also be taken away, temporarily or permanently, if one was convicted of a crime. When this system was devised, there suddenly seemed to be a lot more crimes to be convicted of. The U.S. government also constructed a mechanism for simply claiming people's names. They called this eminent domain. None of these seems likely to be what happened to our client, however, which would suggest that these possibilities suggest in their turn, above all, a functional infinity of other, very possibly worse possibilities. Oh, good.